I want to start by saying, call Allah, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach this truth and all truth and sincerity. All right, real quick, came across this article, and it's from Newsweek. Now, mind you, you have quite a few interesting things that have taken place over the last couple of days. The one being the whole thing with this text or whatever, there's something with some top secret information or whatever being mistakenly leaked to someone that wasn't supposed to get it. I think it was like some kind of plans with the war and the stuff that's going on over there with Yemen and all that. Because the U.S. Navy is fighting the Houthis over there in Yemen in the Red Sea. It's over there. It's real lit over there right now. You know what I'm saying? So apparently something was leaked to someone that shouldn't have been leaked to. I don't know the whole story, but they just had a whole whole event meeting about it today with Trump's cabinet, all the people involved in whatever this said event. But anyway, and it's going to show that we at the time of the third world coming quickly, meaning because like, yo, as if you paying attention, if you're observing, watching, as well as praying, if you see what's happening, you see that clearly the nations are preparing for war, which pertains to what? Joel, the 3rd chapter. The nations are clearly doing that every day. This is stuff that they're revealing to us, but then you got to think about the stuff that they're not revealing. You got to think about it. They don't tell us every single little detail, every nook and cranny about what's going on with World War III. But just the stuff they do put out there, you can tell what time we on, man. You can tell what time they're on, because what? Everybody's talking about nuclear war, nuclear defense, nuclear missiles, aircraft, drones, threats. And these are all things what Yahawashi said, what it should be wars and rumors of wars. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I'm gonna get right to the point. There's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6, and it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Because why? You have wars going on already. You have actual people fighting as of right now, today, which is March 25th, 2025. You already have wars going on. You already have shit going back and got countries going back and forth already as we speak. America being one of them. Because like I said, America is out over there in the Red Sea fighting against the Houthis of Yemen. You got Amalek, the small hats, fighting over there against the Yemen, Gaza, and what is it? Is it the Hezbollah, Hamas, and then they're fighting the Houthis too? I think they're fighting 3 fronts right now. And these are militia groups. They're not even fighting countries yet. And you have them still. You got America, and you got these small hats still threatening Iran, and you got Iran revealing a bunch of their capabilities, a bunch of their arsenal. So that's what the Lord said with Joel, what? They proclaim me this among the Gentiles and prepare war. But that's what Yahawashi said was going to be happening. You should have wars and rumors of wars, and that's all we're hearing about. And in due time, you're going to have what? The MOTB come out. That's what this, remember, that this all the Lord's movie. This all his script. These scriptures are the Lord's story that he has playing out that we call life. But, yeah, it says, ye shall have wars, Matthew 24 and 6. It says, and ye shall have wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. It says, see that ye be not troubled, man. So when we hear they talk about, oh, yeah, they threatening America nuclear this, then nuclear that, and we're not supposed to be troubled. Because at the end of the day, we're hoping and believing to be delivered out of this shit, man. This is the thing that we have to be delivered out of, this nuclear war, World War III. This is the thing that Yahawashi is going to deliver his elect out of, man, because we're here on the earth. And Lord, I hope to be part of elect, but we're on the earth. This war, and they're preparing for war, is on the earth. The wars that's already happening is on the earth. So it's not like it's some far out in the far out galaxy. We're in no danger from it. We're in complete danger from it. Here we're in America, and it's North Korea talk about threatening America. You got Iran threatening America. You got China threatening America. You have Russia threatening America. You have Pakistan threatening America. You have all these countries threatening America, which goes into what? Jeremiah the 50th chapter, which says what? All those that bend the bow. All these nations are getting their bows together. But It says be ye not see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is like, yes, so all these things must come to pass. So they have to continue to be at odds with each other, man. They have to continue, man. That's how this World War III is going to come about. Matthew 24:7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. That's what you have right now, nation against nation. You have the Edomites against the Ishmaelites, against the Elamites, you know, Moabites and the Ammonites. They're all about to squabble with each other. You got Moab going against Moab. Moab going against Ammon. The whole thing with South Korea, Japan, China, and the Philippines. There's a bunch. It's like North Korea, South Korea. You got a bunch of things happening. Russia, Ukraine. Here it is. That's just the name of a few. And you're gonna have more parties being involved. You got Germany talking about going to war with Russia. You got a bunch of things happening, man. And on top of that, they still gotta get the beast system up and running. And that's when really time will start to go really fast. Because once they start bringing out that C-hip, once they start bringing out that to the he calls of all stage, then you're gonna see how fast time really gonna fly. Because at that point, the men of the Lord are not gonna be able to function in society. So if they're not in a prison or whatever have you, they're going to be just in dire straits. But it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilences, man. There shall be famines, man. They talk about all of the price of food going up, so that's going to cause famines. That's going to cause people not be able to get food. Then you will have food shortages. You will have all these things. This is all things the Lord said was going to be happening in the last days. This is when the disciples asked him, what should be the signs that are coming? And he said, when you see these things, all right, pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. You're going to have earthquakes, which is earthquakes. I know there had to be an earthquake sometime not too long ago. These crazy-ass storms, these pestilences, you know, it's about to the weather's about to start to break, so these insects and all that going to start coming around more. You know what I mean? So it's up. So let me go back to that article. So yeah, it says this is from Newsweek, and this is from 4 hours ago. Or yeah, it's from 1:55. So it says nuclear arms. North Korea threatens U.S. with overwhelming response. It says North Korea has just condemned a joint exercise. Excuse me. It says North Korea has condemned the joint exercises held last week by the U.S., Japanese, and South Korean navies, the first trilateral drills of the second Trump administration. So what? That's them preparing for war. Trilateral exercise. You got all these military exercises, military tests, Icbm tests. This is not going to stop. This ain't going to stop until they all nuke each other. But continuing on, it says state media warned that any further provocation will be met with an overwhelming response by Pyongyang. It says South Korea and Japan are both treaty allies of the United States and fall under its extended deterrence policy, which includes a so-called nuclear umbrella. The U.S. also maintains tens of thousands of troops in each country. That's them assembling themselves, and that's America. And that's America spreading themselves thin. Here it is. You got America. You got soldiers, American soldiers throughout the whole earth, and 3 countries just named. It says South Korea, Japan, and no, just talking about South Korea and Japan. But then you probably got Philippines, Taiwan. American troops is real spread thin. That's how you know this is Rome all over again. This is the same thing that happened with the Roman Empire. But continuing on, it says the U.S. also maintains tens of thousands of troops in each country. Military deployments that North Korea routinely denounces as provocative. Since late 2023, the 3 nations have deepened their security cooperation in response to continued threats from North Korea's nuclear-armed Kim Jong-un regime, and China moves to assert regional dominance and threaten Beijing claims self-rule Taiwan. So what? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, man. And that's how you know that this kingdom's not gonna last, because everybody just so divided. Everybody just beefing. All right, everybody's not trying to be the punk. But you got these small countries getting with these big countries. These small countries with the resources they have, they're getting their shit together. Everybody's getting their arms ready, man. Everybody, it's called a nuclear arms race, man. And it's only going to continue to intensify and intensify. As each day passes, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse until the missiles come over here, missiles go over there. It's just a whole one big nuclear frenzy, one big nuclear party. It said the tripartite. It says the tripartite drills held from March 17th to March 20th near South Korea's Jeju Island focused on the Carl Vinson Aircraft Carrier Strike Group, which I believe belongs to America. It said they aim to enhance allied coordination, the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command said in a statement released Thursday. So I guess that was last week. It says North Korea's official Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, on Tuesday published a commentary condemning the exercises. So what? That's friction. That's nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. You got them talking about they're against what America's doing over there with their enemies. North Korea and South Korea being enemies. They going at it. China and Taiwan, Japan and China. But you got Esau, you got Babylon all in the mix, being the whore that she always is. But continuing on, it says the enemy states did not take the trouble to conceal the fact that the drill was aimed to check the DPRK's Democratic Republic of Korea's nuclear and missile capabilities, and its sea defense capability in particular, and deprive it of its maritime sovereignty, the KCNA statement said, using North Korea's formal name. KCNA accused the U.S. and other hostile forces of ramping up efforts to restrain North Korea and dominate the whole Asia-Pacific region to unprecedented levels. So they talk about Esau trying to take over. They talk about it's America and other forces, which is probably what, like NATO and the EU and all that. It's really Esau. Esau is the fatness of the earth, so Esau's still trying to hold his dominance on the earth. And it says, the more desperately the U.S. resorts to confrontation with the DPRK, the more the DPRK will accelerate and redouble its efforts and actions to defend its national security and the regional peace. The statement continued, any provocation and threat will face the overwhelming and decisive counteraction. Now, what are they testing? What is North Korea been testing for quite some time now? Icbm'S. And it says KCNA also echoed remarks from North Korea's Foreign Ministry affiliated Institute for Disarmament and Peace, which on Monday labeled the recently concluded U.S. South Korea Freedom Shield exercise a war rehearsal. A war rehearsal. Prepare war. When you rehearse something, you're preparing for that. You're preparing for whatever you're rehearsing. So if you're rehearsing the basketball or rehearsing this, that, you're rehearsing to about to do whatever you're rehearsing. So you could do it well. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Excuse me. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9, and it reads, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. What are they doing? It said what? It's a prep for war. But what did it say in the article, actually? It said war rehearsal. So you got North Korea rehearsing for war. You got America rehearsing for war. China, Japan, Russia. Well, Russia's already at war. Ukraine's already at war. The small hat's already at war. So that's perfect fit to the scripture where the Lord said what? You should have wars and rumors of wars. Because the wars that's going on right now, you still hearing rumors and how other things might transpire from off of the wars that's already happening and taking place. So they call it war rehearsal. And it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And that's what's happening right now. All the men of war draw near. They draw near what? The battle. Draw near to the battle. This is going to go down. Remember, this is prophecy. We're just not saying it just to say it. There's already things happening that the prophets and the prophecies have already spoken of. Yahawashi said, wars and rumors of wars. What the hell you think we've been saying all this time, man? And it's been going on for years. But now we're at the tail end of it, because now they're talking about what? Nuclear war. The Lord said it was going to be a war with fire. When they went to war over in the ancient world, they didn't use fire. They used actual bows and arrows, swords. But this right here is going to be, it said fire. And these fires are going to travel throughout the earth. So that's these nuclear missiles. They're going to travel from one side of the earth to the other. That's why it says what? It said, I'm reading an article. It said that North Korea is flight tested Icbm'S, which stands for what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. And America is too. They all prepared. Everybody's prepared for war. Remember, this the Lord mustering the host of the battle. Isaiah 13 and what? 4, I believe. It says, verse 11 of Joel chapter 3, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens. So not just Esau, all these heathens. That's Ishmael, that's Moab, that's Elam, Ammon, Moab. The other Edomite country besides Babylon. Throw Hamites in there. Don't throw the Japhites in there, because in the Philippines, you got a lot of Japheth there. So it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither call thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. And that's what's happening right now. They're all getting ready to come down to the valley of Jehoshaphat for that great day where the Lord said what? He will sit and judge all the heathen round about. All these heathen going to get judged round about. Because they're going to go over there. They're going to go over there, and then what's going to happen? They're going to be fighting each other, and then YAHAWASHI going to come back. It said YAHAWASHI says he's going to come back in the midst of the nations fighting. How else shall he trample all the nations and their armies? How else is his wrath and indignation going to be upon these armies? Yes, the missiles are going to do it, but he's also going to come with fire. He said he's going to get a major piece of this war. And he's going to be the one to win the war, and he's going to be the one to end the war. It says, verse 12, it says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's that region of the earth right there. Over there where the small heads is at. The Middle East. Then the Lord is prepared. He's prepared for that great day where he's going to sit and judge all the heathen round about. And they don't understand what's about to go down. That's what's crazy. They thinking that's why they all fiddling the fence. That's why nobody's in a rush to use nukes. But everybody keeps pushing each other. The Lord is having them all just keep pushing each other, instigating each other, threatening each other. To where they say, well, yo, man, we might as well get our nukes ready. Because the Lord is gonna force their hand. The Lord is gonna make them use these nukes. The Lord had these nations make these nukes to use them. All right? So I'm gonna go back to the article. So yeah, so it said, the exercising for war rehearsal. It says, the U.S. 7th Fleet said in a March 20th statement, trilateral naval exercises are conducted in a manner that is consistent with international law and with due regard to the safety of navigation and the rights and interests of other states. It says U.S. President Donald Trump, who met with Kim Jong-un 3 times during his first term in a failed attempt to persuade the North Korean leader to take steps toward denuclearization, sees what? Not having nukes. And it says has indicated that he is open to re-engaging with him, but what? North Korea they still get their nukes ready, man. You're not gonna stop them. Remember, this is the Lord, this is YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI doing this. This ain't Buddha, this ain't Allah, this ain't Jesus doing it. It's the one true living God whose name is Yahawah, the Heavenly Father, and his son YAHAWASHI, who the world called Jesus. It is they that are mustering the host to the battle, man. It is they that said that this is going to happen way before it started happening. The Lord said what? He declared the end from the beginning. So it said on Tuesday, U.S. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said North Korea may be ready to conduct another nuclear test on short notice, which would be its 7th since the start of testing in 2006. That's a year after I graduated high school. And it's going to be more. They're going to continue to test more and more. It says North Korea is probably prepared to conduct another nuclear test on short notice and continue to flight test Icbm'S, intercontinental ballistic missiles, to demonstrate their increasing capabilities as leverage in future negotiations, Gabbard told lawmakers during a testimony on an annual threat assessment from U.S. intelligence agencies, man. Which means what? The U.S. is feeling threatened. Because why? North Korea already threatened America, saying that, yo, we're developing nuclear missiles, missiles with nuclear capabilities that could be able to hit the U.S. long range. Icbm, intercontinental ballistic missile, from one continent to another, from Asia to North America. That's what time they on right now. And they said they've been doing this since 2006. That's almost 20 years. And that was the end of the article. Yeah. So yeah, there's a preparing war. Oh, matter of fact, yeah, that's what I wanted to get. Jeremiah. Yeah, one verse. Now, when you go into Babylon, it's talking about in Jeremiah, that's talking about America. And I want to say in this same chapter, it mentions actual Babylon the Great. But when you read verse, what is that, 13? This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 13. It says, because the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wildly desolate. Everyone that go by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. Now, that's not talking about ancient Babylon, because ancient Babylon has been inhabited after they went out of power. It's now called modern day Iraq. So it can't be talking about that land, because that land has been inhabited after the actual Babylonians ruled. And they weren't destroyed with a great destruction like America's going to be destroyed with, which is because America is what? It is Babylon the Great. It is the daughter of Babylon. It is that great city that had the nation drunk off of the wrath of fornication. Babylon didn't do that. Babylon had a major place in history, but the way it's described as the daughter of Babylon in the scriptures, that's not talking about ancient Babylon. All right. It says, verse 14, it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. That says what? Spare no arrows, shoot them at her. That her is talking about Babylon, which that her is America. Because why? Most of them other countries, most of them other nations, these superpowers, they're on the eastern side of the world. But it says that all of those that could bend the bow, all those that could bend the bow and shoot at Babylon, that's not how ancient Babylon was taken out. Ancient Babylon, it was a transitional thing. This Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, is going to be completely destroyed. It says, verse 15. Yeah, it says, I'm going to read 14 again. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. So all those missiles that they're making, or they have made, and they continue to develop, they're all going to be used. And they're all going to be used and shot at America. That's the future. That's America's future. That's the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great's future destruction. That's the future. You don't need no Miss Cleo. You don't need no motherfucking psychic. You don't know that the prophecy, the things said before, that's the things said ways back that's gonna happen now are in the scriptures. It says shout against her round about. It says, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. This land, that land of sin, man. Israel's sinning. The nations come here, they be fucking heathens. Everything is just wicked over here, man. That's why the Lord said this place got to be destroyed completely, wildly desolate. Verse 15 of Jeremiah chapter 50, it says, shout against her round about. She have given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. That's why America is not going to be ever great again like it once was. That's why you have the stores closing. You have jobs being lost. They're about to usher in this new digital currency to where hardly nobody works, universal basic income. Elon Musk talk about 80% of the workforce is cut. You got Trump talk about getting rid of the Department of Education. And this is all within the last couple months. Trump has been on the tear. So call law YAHAWASHI for working on the mind of Trump to we're real closer and quicker to this place being destroyed. You said her walls are thrown down. It says, for it is the vengeance of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. Take vengeance upon her as she have done, do unto her. So what? This is going to be fair game. Do unto others as you want done to yourself, right? So what they've done to others, the Lord said, you're going to do unto her. You destroy my people going to destroy you. You want to put my people in captivity? They're going to put you into captivity. The Lord said what? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So you Edomites, you so-called white people, and you other nations, you Arabs, you Chinese, Japanese, fucking East Indian, all that, Hamites, all that, y'all all going to slavery, man. That's what, when after the Lord judges you, and after he takes all these weapons, and after you use all your weapons against him, and you fail very short, what do you think the Lord's going to do after that? The Lord is going to be time for subjection. The same way King David did it, YAHAWASHI going to do it. But even better. Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, this whole chapter is good, but I brought up the points I wanted to bring up because that Babylon and the prepared war, man. Because that's what these nations are doing, man. They're preparing war. North Korea, they're ones that could bend the bow. The Lord says, "Spare no arrows," and they've already been threatening America, saying that we're designing missiles that will be able to strike the U.S. That's what North Korea said. You got Pakistan talking about we're developing missiles that could end up eventually hitting the U.S. So the threat is there. The threat is real, man. It's out here already, man. The destruction is at hand. The day of the Lord is at hand. Ain't nothing Esau could do. Ain't nothing Trump could do about it. Ain't nothing nobody could do about it, man. It's over. That's it. It said the foundation, the walls are thrown down. America's thrown down already. It just ain't go out of actual full business yet. But the liquidation sales have already started. It's already a wrap. Going out of business, all things must go. That's it. That's how you see when America's a corporation, right? When corporations are going out of business, they don't just go out of business. Yeah, we're going to business and they close the next day. No, they just they get broke down more and more. They run out the leases on their the buildings that they're in. They do all these things, and then the end comes. But before a corporation shuts down, it's a process. It's a process before the complete shutdown. So it's like a process right before the complete destruction of America. So, with that, Lord willing, is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, aka the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim, continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.